Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zion Aesthetic, and today I'm going to be doing another palette pageant review. This is a series where I individually review palettes from all sorts of different brands, and I review all sorts of different kinds of palettes. I do face palettes, I do eye palettes, I do contour palettes, basically anything in a palette form. This is my second video in the series. The first one I did, I uploaded a little while back. That one was on the Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette, so don't forget to check that out if you are interested in that. Today, I am going to be looking at the Cheekathon palette by Benefit. This is a palette that came out pretty recently. It's not brand new, but it just came out not too long ago. It is a face palette. It is a blush and bronzer palette. There are 5 full-size products in this palette, which is incredible because normally these products that are in here are called the box of powders by Benefit, and they retail for $30 a piece. Well, $29 a piece. So they put 5 of those in this palette, and they marked it down dramatically. You save about $100 when you buy this palette as opposed to buying them each separately. Thanks again for watching. Let's hop right into it. So I have a couple things I want to say about this palette before we get it busted open and start looking at all the colors and talking about them individually. This palette is sold at Sephora and on the Benefit website. I think it may be sold a few other places too, but I have only seen it in those 2 places. This retails for $58, which, as I was saying in the intro, is absolutely incredible because there are 5 products in here that each retail for $30 a piece, and so that added all the way up, plus the price of the little brush in here, equals $145 if you bought them all individually. So this is saving you just under $100 to get all of these colors in bulk in this Cheekathon palette. You may have heard about this. They had quite a bit of hype around it. In general, Benefit Cosmetics has done a great job creating hype for many of their products, including the Hoola bronzer, which does happen to be in this palette. They had a whole promotional thing. I think it was Do the Hoola, and it was all very beachy and very tropical. They invited a bunch of people out on a cruise to talk about the product, and they came out with a liquid Hoola bronzer and a brush and a bunch of things. And so they built a lot of hype up on that, and then after that they came out with this palette, and this one had a lot of hype as well. One, because Benefit had a lot of hype already built up for the Hoola product. For the promo for this palette, they had Kathleen Lights, Manny Mua, and Patrick Starr all sponsor this palette and do a photo shoot for this palette. In case you don't know who they are well-known beauty bloggers here on YouTube. When you open this palette up, you see the 5 full-size box of powder products in here. There are 2, kind of 3 blushes and 2 bronzers in this palette. The one thing I do need to say about this palette before we hop right into it is not all of these box of powders seem to exactly follow the formula of the original box of powders. Like, for instance, Dandelion actually happens to be a little more pigmented, in my opinion. It appears to be. And Coralista actually has less of a coral color in this palette. So this one, I feel like the formula's a little better here, and this one I feel like the formula's a little worse. I feel the same way about a couple of others. I'll get into that when I go over them all individually. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if they had to cut some corners or go to a different factory to produce these for the full-size palette so that they didn't have to charge $150 for the palette, but that's what happened. So to start, over here, all the way on the left, is the shade Dandelion. This is a very light, bubbly pink. It's got a little bit of like dusty rose color in it, but mostly it's just very bright and poppy. While I do like this color, it doesn't work super well on my skin tone because of the olive undertones that I have in my skin. This seems to come off a little bright and intense in like a bubblegum pop sort of way on me. And like I said before, I've actually found the formula in this one to be a little bit better than the original box of powder. The next shade over is Hoola. This is the one that I was talking about that they built a lot of hype about. This is the Hoola bronzer, And as of right now, it's honestly one of the most popular bronzers on the market. It is this, oh, there goes the brush. It is this beautiful beige brown with like a hint of taupiness, and one of the reasons that it's so popular is that it's almost universally flattering. A lot of people with a lot of different skin tones and a lot of different undertones can get away with this Hoola bronzer and have it look quite nice on them. The formula of this one I've actually found to be identical to the original Hoola bronzer, which I'm very happy about. I think if they were going to skip corners on any product, this is the one that they would not skip corners on, because they just built so much hype up for that, and they knew if they fucked it up this time, that a lot of people would be very upset with their company. The next one over here is Rockateur. This one is a really, really pretty deeper pink with a sparkly sheen to it. It has the sparkly overlay, which is just an overlay. It doesn't continue down into the product with sparkle, which is okay by me, although I do kind of enjoy the sparkle. I'm excited to see what the under product looks like as well. It also has the word rock imprinted into it, short for Rockateur. I'm not really quite sure whether it's supposed to be a blush. I mean, yes, it's supposed to be a blush, but it doesn't come off really on the cheeks as a very pigmented blush. So what I like to use this for is right above my blush and right underneath my highlight to kind of blend them together. I actually used it today. You can kind of see right there on the top to just kind of, because it has the sparkle in it, so it goes nice with the highlighter and it just kind of smooths everything together. I also used Hoola today right here, right above my contour. Next, down here, this is another product I used today. I actually used this one in conjunction with this one for my blush. This one is called Dallas. It is a very, very dark color, but it has sort of muted pinkish undertones, so it's not quite a bronze. It's definitely sort of a mix between a bronze and a blush. I don't know how well you can see it compared to the Hoola, which is a classic bronzer. This one just has a lot more mauvey undertones, and I really enjoy that about it, but just using this alone as blush on me comes out a little too dark. And so what I like to do is I like to take my Coralista, which, as you can see, sort of developed a weird top. I'm not sure why. What I like to do is I like to take this Dallas and this Coralista and kind of tap, 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 and collect a little of both on my brush, and then brush that over the cheekbones. And especially if I'm doing bronzer underneath the blush, it just brings, if you can see, I still have the blushy look, but I also look tan. I also look like the sun has hit me just a little bit on the tops of the cheekbones. And I really like that about this combination. This is the brush that it all comes with. I have only used this brush a couple times because I received this right around the same time that I received my Artis Oval 6 brush, and so I've been using that. But if you don't have a nice contour brush, this is a very high quality brush. It feels very soft, and it's nice and easy to clean because it's synthetic, and it's almost like that NARS brush that everyone really likes. This very short sort of brush, and it just works really well brushing your blush right like this across your cheek. The thing that's funny to me about this is this would be most useful for right under your cheekbone, and that's not where you're supposed to apply bronzer. But Benefit, as well as a lot of other brands, are right now advertising using bronzer as contour. A lot of people lately have been using bronzers as contour products because that's how they're being sold to you. And they're advertising to do it under your cheekbone and to have your blush on top and then your highlight on top of that and to use it as a contour product. Now, I really do not recommend doing this. That's because when you think about what contour is there to achieve, it's there to map out your face and to create three-dimensionality to your face. So when you have a shadow under the cheekbone, it looks a shade darker than your skin tone, but it looks slightly gray, very, very shadowy. It does not look orange or bronze or any of these red undertones that these bronzers have in it. And when you do put those products with orange undertones, those bronzers, under your cheekbone, it actually doesn't create the definition that you're looking for. It really just muddies up the complexion, and it does not look as good as what you're hoping to achieve and what you would get if you just used a contour product. That being said, what bronzer is used for is being used right here, right underneath the highlight, exactly where blush goes, actually, because you can either right on the balls of your cheeks and then you pull it back, because you have bronzer, and if you apply your bronzer there, it gives you a sun-kissed glow. And the reason you're supposed to put it there is because that's where the sun would hit you. The sun would hit you right at the tops of the cheekbones, and right on the nose, and maybe right on the chin. And so that's where you would put your bronzer to give yourself that sun-kissed look that's so nice for summer. I usually put on bronzer first, before anything else on the cheek. I put it on right here, and then I take my contour and I go underneath that with my contour product. And then I'll take blush and I'll just go right on top of that bronzer with the blush. So I get slightly that rosy look and slightly that sun-kissed look. And then I'll put my highlight on top of it, right underneath my eye. And that's what I've found gives you the least muddy complexion and the most beautiful look on the cheeks. This is what the packaging looks like on the product. It has these 5 ladies in the front that look sort of like a mix between swimmers and dancers. I think they're supposed to be dancers, though. And their bodies are each one of the box of powders in this box. This is Dandelion, Coralista, Hoola, Dallas, and Rockateur. I really enjoy the shape and the size of this box. It's just really convenient to have all of these in one place instead of having individual box of powders. The thickness of this box is also really satisfying to me because that's how thick the actual box of powders are. And when I say full size about these products, these actually are deep, deep products. They go almost all the way down to the bottom of this packaging. They're not just flat and there's a lot on top. They're very deep. This will last you for God knows how long. I don't know. It's going to take me a very long time to run out of this palette, thankfully. On the back, it has all of the different product names and the amounts in each product. They actually do not have uniformity to the amounts. The biggest one in here is Dallas at 0.32 ounces, and then Hoola and Coralista come in second at 0.28 ounces. Dandelion has 0.25 ounces, and then Rockateur only has 0.17 ounces. So Rockateur only has half the amount of product in it that Dallas does. That is it for all of the different products in this Benefit Cheekathon palette. If I were to recommend any ones from this palette, I would definitely recommend Hoola, the one that they have built all of the hype about, and Dallas. Dallas is just such a unique, gorgeous color in my opinion, and since getting this palette, it's definitely one that I can't live without. For the price, I definitely recommend this palette at $58 when the true value of this is over $130. I mean, this is kind of a steal. The only thing that is a slight disappointment about this is that some of the formulas have seemingly been changed, but I mean, you're literally spending $100 less on buying this than on buying each of them individually, and so a slight color change and a slight formula change for one product, I think Coralista feels like it has a different formula, is really, really good. You're still getting almost the exact same thing, and Hoola is the exact same thing for $100 less. So for that, I definitely recommend it. I hope I answered any questions you may have had about the Benefit Cheekathon palette. I will be continuing to make videos for this palette pageant series to upload to my channel. I just placed an order on AnastasiaBeverlyHills.com purchasing the new Modern Renaissance eyeshadow palette and one of the glow kits, so stay tuned for those. I will be uploading those very soon to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss that. I really enjoy doing these palette pageant reviews because palettes have a special place in my heart. I love collecting palettes and I love how easy they are and how quick they are and how organized they are. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked this review. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more palette pageant reviews in the future. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.